Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So guys, in this video we will have our discussion on the concept of the law of attraction, or when it comes down to manifesting things in your life, which all areas in your chart you have to give attention. Just because guys, I never had this topic in my mind. It's just like that, it's the vibration of the full moon at a time when I'm recording this video. Just because the involvement of the Cancer, I was like overwhelmed with the emotions, with the feelings, and I actually wanted to talk about something. So I just thought we can have our discussion on this as well. Because guys, many times I generally see this as a pattern when people book their reading with me, and the trend is that even at a time when people go to a doctor's visit, they go to a lawyer's visit, they go for any guidance from any expert, they still try to keep a portion of their situation hidden. But when it comes down to like visiting an astrologer, they open up with every minute details. So that is the only reason guys, in certain cases I saw a pattern. Because of that, it becomes very important that you can only manifest further better things in your life only after the part of that fixed destiny which you have in your life, how happy, contented you are with that, and how strongly you have accepted that. Guys, it's not an exaggeration. You will see that as a pattern. Like even at a time when I was in India, I was working with a luxury retail brand, and over there they have one of the corporate office in their mansion, in the big villa where they used to live. And over there, like while going towards the office, I used to see a very old like a two-wheeler, a scooter. And when I asked like one of the very old employee in the organization, old I mean to say with experience, he told me that, you know, the founder, when he came to India, like they actually came from the partitioned part of India and Pakistan. So they came from the Pakistan side, and he told me that okay, the founder, he used to drive this and he bought this as his very first earning, and then he never looked back, but he always cherished his roots, his beginning, and that is the only reason you will find it over here. And that is the case guys, even in the case of, like, you can take up the case of the India's current Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji as well. Only if you are in peace and you have accepted your reality, the universe actually starts showering things in a very bountiful way in your life. Like there have been those kind of cases in India, like even if you become a small time counselor or a MLA or a MP, you end up amassing so many things. And when you take up the case, you look at the case of the Narendra Modi ji, even after, like, you know, being such a liked politician, one of the most popular politician of the world, he still lives a very humble life. And at a time when people ask me that from where people like Donald Trump, people like Narendra Modi, even at this age, from where they get this power? So the power cannot be attached with their physical body. It's the cosmic body, it's the causal body which is so empowered. And that generally happens, and it only happens when you have that portion called as the grace, as the blessing or the kripa, which is helping you achieve things in the life. Like the way guys, okay, let me tell you a small and a short story which I heard in one of the preaching of Osho, and then we will stick to our astrological discussion. So what happened, there was one small time cobbler who used to fix shoes. So he used to get and make money in few certain cents, and like in paise, like as per the Indian currency. And he had this habit of buying a lottery ticket. So once what happened, he won a lottery. So in the like the US currency, let's assume it to be of $100,000. So for a guy who is already living life with a minimum kind of, you know, means, and suddenly you get that much of the amount. So what he did, he locked up his small shop, and he threw the key in a well, like after locking it, threw the key in the well, and he started living like luxurious life, you know, like throwing party to his friends, other cobbler friends, you know, inviting girls and getting into all the indulgences. After that, he finished all the money in a small period of time. So now left with no option, he again got down under the well. He tried to find the key, opened up the shop, and again started resuming his work. But he still keep on buying the lottery ticket. And then in a year of 2 years of the time, he again won a lottery. Now again he did the same thing. He locked his shop, he threw it in the well, and he again started doing the partying, and he, like, again he finished his money in a small portion of the time. Then someone, like, kind of made a sarcastic comment on him that, are you stupid? Why don't you keep the business running? Hire some people, keep the business running, and from the profit and from the margin, you can still do the parties and all. He says, no, that ways to the God, I need to show that I'm enduring, I'm dealing with the quota of my struggle, of luxury, of happiness in an equal way. Only if I will maintain that happiness and abundance and the prosperity, then in a way, whatever else God is trying to give me, I will automatically create a blockage over there. So that's what, like, it was one of the story which I heard in the preaching of the Osho, which was actually in a way finding resonance in this story as well. Because guys, the kind of things which we attract in our life, a lot many times you will see the synchronicity, that universe always works with a perfect plan. Like a couple of days back only, there was this guy, he booked his reading with me. He wanted to know the concerns about the childbirth and all. So imagine the case, like Aquarius Lagna, in the 7th house, you will find the energy of the Leo. So Rahu Ketu was there. Rahu in the 1st house for the Aquarius Lagna, Ketu in the 7th house. And in the 5th house, you will find the energy of the Mercury. 5th Lord has gone to the 12th house. So 5th Lord in itself has gone to the 12th house. Second thing, in the original Kal Purush Kundli, Leo is the 5th house energy. Leo has got Ketu being over there. And if you get deeper into it, like even if you will try to look at the A5 Pada, A5 Pada also falls in the 7th house where Ketu is there. So I mean to say, and when I looked at the chart of the wife, even in the wife's chart, the 5th Lord was there in the 12th house. So in a way, guys, we only attract things which is like a destiny's promise in our life. And if you actually want to outgrow things, that will only happen. The blessing or the grace will only start flowing in your life only if you are peace with what God has actually given you. So that is a portion of the destiny which is fixed. So if you are happy, you are contented, and like the way I always connect things with the 7 level of consciousness, with the chakras as well. So only if you are reverberating on a higher plane, like you are reverberating on the, like this could be Manipura chakra, solar plexus, like where you are like leaving everything, you burnt all the desire and you left it in the hands of the God. Or this could be Anahita chakra, you by yourself reverberate love. So I mean to say, then things will start working in your life. But you will never find someone who is complaining, who is whining in his present circumstances or position to be able to manifest more. Because only if you are grateful for what you have, you will pave path towards more abundance to flow in your life. So now guys, after all of that, now we will try to look at that when it comes down to judging the law of attraction working in someone's life, which all are the parameters which you have to give attention to, like where exactly and specifically you need to work in order to know what all you would be able to manifest in your life. So guys, to begin with, beyond any doubt, we have to honor the full moon at a time when we are having this discussion. So that means moon's placement becomes very, very important. So now guys, again, I always give attention to doing any analysis on 3 parameters. Planet represents energy. Zodiac sign tells about how that energy will be processed, and it's the house which tells about from where you will get the result. In the case of the moon, like there have been guys many studies, like Scorpio moon people is a combination which has been seen in the charts of the many millionaires. Like the way people have this notion, oh, moon is debilitated, that means person is going to be depressed, the person is going to be like complaining, whining. But many times this whining and like where the guy is not contented, this person takes up the path of the spirituality, this person takes refuge in religion, and if this person gets the guidance of a right awakened guru, these people are able to manifest many things. You will even see in the charts of the many successful astrologer, psychic and healer to be working with the moon in the Scorpio. But that is not our concern. Is all what I'm trying to say, that moon's placement in the house becomes very, very important. Because again guys, it's just like that the actual results come from the house. zodiac sign just churn up the energy. It just give you a processing unit. But where exactly the results are coming in, it always comes from the house where moon is placed. Like the way some people like who are like very spiritually aligned, they also say like, you know, energy E equals to mc square. In spiritual dialect, I'm saying that that it's the power of your thought which can be assigned with the E. M is the kind of the matter which you will create, and that can only happen with C square, where the power of the consciousness, where exactly you are reverberating, in which level you are right now reverberating. Again guys, that is the only reason when you will take up the case and you will see the lives of, this could be our incarnated gods, like this could be Lord Ram, this could be Lord Krishna. See, Lord Ram's case was different because like some people say this thing that even if like you gave a Ramayana, the book of the story and the life of the Lord Rama, even to a foreign national, someone who does not have any idea about it, but only if like that guy would have already started like reading first chapter, second chapter, third chapter, you remove the pages of the fourth chapter, but you would have already made a sense that okay, the personality of this person is very righteous. He will only be going and doing things as per the rules book, as per the rules regulation. So lot can be predicted. But when you will take up the life of the Lord Krishna, okay, the same person can be dancing with the gopis, with his female disciples. The same person could be a shepherd. The same person could be a warrior, could be a statesman. So there's a lot of the unpredictability attached over there. That means going by the need of the hour, you can mold yourself. So the point which I'm guys saying over here is that moon's house placement becomes very important, because even if you have got a Taurus moon, even if you have got like Cancer moon, but if that moon is placed in the 8th house, that moon is placed in the 6th house, that moon is placed in the 12th house, so somehow you might be, your moon is very ripe, it's very like, it's like a ripe fruit, but it is kind of surrounded by threats, or you have by yourself created your own walls of fear, anxiety, depression, insecurity, and in certain cases if the 8th house and 12th house is involved, so third power, like this could be spirit related problem, so those kind of problems might also be involved over there as well. So if I were to say guys, if you have to actually give attention to what all you will be able to create or manifest in your life, over there the house placement of the moon to begin with becomes very important. Now comes the second thing. Second thing becomes beyond any doubt the planet Jupiter, because it's a Jupiter only where the goodness and the blessings and the grace which touches us and create a power of or a cycle of miracle in our life. So beyond any doubt, it goes without any saying that Jupiter is the second most important thing, especially in those kind of cases where people are able to create many things in their life, like whatever wish and desires they have, they are able to fulfill them. So because of that, after the planet moon, it's the dignity and the strength of the planet Jupiter which will become very important. Now again guys, I cannot give you a proper elaborative explanation, otherwise the video is going to be very long, that okay, Jupiter has to be placed in the first house, in the 5th house, in the 9th house, in the 11th house, or like in terms of the degree of the planet Jupiter, it has to be in a strengthened state, and nothing could be better than that. If the wisdom of the Jupiter is going to be supported by conjunction with the planet Sun, conjunction with the planet Mars, your moon is conjunct with the planet Jupiter, then this will also support you. So in a way, when we talk about manifestation, law of attraction to work in your life, after the planet moon, it's a planet Jupiter which becomes very important. Now guys, when it comes down to the houses, so if I were to say first house becomes very important, because first house is where like you attract all the energies towards you, like your personal email address, your mobile number, your identity is generally attached with the first house. Like in the universe, how universal energies will connect with you subconsciously, they will connect with you through your moon, but as per your physical presence, your ascendant generally tells about that. And again guys, like the way I've been saying this thing, that at a time when you were being born, the kind of promises which has been encrypted and written for you. So over there, it's your moon nakshatra, it's your ascendant lord. All these entities play a very significant role. So first house is very important. Fifth house and ninth house is very important as well, because fifth house tells about your the kind of blessing which you have received from your ancestors, the kind of opening balance with which you are born in this lifetime. Again guys, the transit of planets like Saturn, Ketu generally manifest things which might have been lying dormant in your personality, in your subconsciousness. So fifth house becomes very important. After that guys, ninth house beyond doubt is the most important thing. People have a very narrowed way of looking at things, but all those people who are able to create a miracle, people who are right in the most testing times, in the most pressurized situation, somehow they have always a narrow escape. Something happened, help comes from nowhere, money gets arranged from nowhere, none of your work gets obstructed. Your life flows uninterrupted. In a way, ninth house might be working in a very dignified way in your life. After that guys, beyond any doubt, our saints were wise enough that after allotting all the tributes to all the houses, somehow they attach 11th house as the house of the wish fulfillment of the desires. And if you have a planet like Jupiter being placed over there, in a way Jupiter gives aspect from the 11th house to your third house, to your fifth house, to your to your third house, fifth house, and to your seventh house as well. So I mean to say 11th house also becomes very important. What all you'll be able to manifest in your life, and nothing could be better than that. If you have a conjunction of, like you have a Gaj Kesari Yoga, you have a conjunction of Jupiter and Moon, and they both are placed in the 11th house. So that can be a very strong validation as well. So far we have discussed the planets which are chiefly involved. We have discussed about the houses. After that guys, that goes without any saying that the Mahadasha becomes very important. Again guys, like the way I say this thing, that Mahadasha is very important because it somehow we say this thing that it brings out those things which are lying dormant in our personality. We all are maturing not only because of our age, but because of the maturity of planets in our life. Like the way we say that Saturn matures at 36, Rahu matures at 42, Ketu matures at 48. If Ketu is a defining planet in your chart, at the age of 48, a change is bound to come in your life. If Rahu is a defining planet in your life, 42nd year will actually witness some significant achievement and accomplishment. So the point which I'm saying over here is that a lot of the things which are hidden from you, they only come at the right timings. And I guess guys, that is what makes all of our life unique and give us a personalized path in the life. A lot many times when people come to me, they book their reading and they're trying to compare themselves with other people. Nipon, people of my same age group, they are already married, they have already bought house. People of my age, they are doing this. People who are less competent than me, they are already being promoted. So again guys, life is not only if a person is going to take off his shirt, then only you can see the kind of wounds this person has on his back. So I mean to say, everyone has their own destiny. Everyone has their own path to fulfill. Guys, like so many people who have been now doing and living a very successful life in the West, and who come from the southern part of the India, you would not believe how many of those people have actually told me that Nipun, we were of the lower caste when we were living in India. We were discriminated, we were like harassed, and over and above that, we were very poor as well. And it's just like that, my mother was very religious. She was very dutiful. Even if like she has to sleep without eating anything, but she used to ensure that the sacrosanct meant for the gods, for the prayers, has to be intact, has to be there. And these are those females, these are those women who actually turned around the lives of their children, who are now living a very bright life in US. They have everything. So that's what I'm trying to say. So guys, as a part of this discussion, all what I wanted to say that the 11th house is actually very important. And the Dasha, Mahadasha is very important because it's the Dasha only which takes you from one phase of the life to another phase of the life. A lot many times, guys, I always say this thing that why God even do not fulfill all of our wishes, because at a time when we are making those wishes, even we are not that much mature. You do not know what you have been earnestly asking for, is it actually for your good or not. And second thing, do you have that level of maturity that what you are asking for is good for you. Someone was telling me, like, you know, a guy whom I generally follow for all the spiritual content. My forte is mainly of astrology, but just because he was saying this thing that, okay, why all those wishes which are being made and all those kind of prayers which are made from the bottom chakra, like Muladhara chakra, why they do not get fulfilled? Because God knows this thing, that there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of insecurity. The person who's asking something good, the same day in his next prayer, he'll be asking that, okay, my neighbor did bad for me, why don't you go and kill him? So again guys, over here I'll include a short story. It's the energy of the full moon, and then I will wrap up this video. So what happened, they were like two guys, they were like very good friends, and when that right age came, when they both turned like 25 or 26, they both started thinking about investing in a new line of business. So one person, he bought very wild dogs, puppies, that he will take them for the hunting and he will make his livelihood because of that. And the other person bought some sheep and lamb and whatever they called as the offspring of them, that I'm gonna be working as a shepherd, I will, you know, make milk products, and I will, you know, take off their wool and all and make clothes of them, I will sell it in the market and all. They both gotten into different line of business. And what happened after a while, just because time passed, in next 4 to 3 years only, the dogs also grown up, fully grown, fully trained, ferocious, and the lambs also were grown up. And what happened, couple of times, the wild dogs from the house of the neighbor, his good friend, used to enter and he used to harm, and once they even kill one sheep as well. So after that, the other friend was like, he was not able to sleep whole night. It's like, okay, it's going to be like this only. What can I do? What shall I do? He goes to the market. He bought a gun and says, either I will threaten him or I will kill his dog. And even if he will come in the way, I'm gonna kill him as well. While he was coming back, there was a hut of a saint. Generally what happens in all the stories. So he just goes there to take a rest, and then saint asks him, hey, why you have such a big rifle, big gun? What are you gonna do with that? He tells the whole story. Saint says, can you afford to lose a friend? He says, yeah, that's difficult, but I don't have any option. Okay, can you afford to gain an enemy? He says, I do not have any option. He says, okay, let me give you an advice. Let's see if it works out for you. He gives him a short remedy for his problem. What he does, when he goes back, he takes those the offspring of a newborn sheep, and he goes to the house of his neighbor, and he also has small children, and give them as a gift. Now his children got so happy, they start cuddling them, playing with them. And when his friends saw that, okay, my kids are so happy, when he thought that, okay, now I need to do something, because the dogs can harm the sheep in my home as well. He brings a cage and start putting those wild dogs in the cage. And now even when he goes for the hunting, when he comes back, you know, whatever he gains and he gets in the form of the hunting, he shared those meat with his friend as well. The relationship was maintained. So I mean to say, sometimes when you are struck, the divine consciousness, reaching out to the divine, can actually prove out to be helpful. So guys, all what I'm trying to say over here is that after giving attention to the moon, after giving attention to the Jupiter, after giving attention to the trine houses, after giving attention to the 11th house, you have to give a lot of weightage to the dasha. Dasha becomes very important. We are maturing with the sequence of the dasha, and the kind of moon nakshatra with which you are born, the kind of the sequence of the dasha which you have got, it is perfectly attuned with the exhaustion of your karmas. Like the way I say, universe always works in a perfect plan. I couldn't tell you in how many times it has happened when people book their reading with me and they remain very stubborn that, okay, my wife is pregnant and I'm gonna be planning the delivery right on this day at this hour. Something goes wrong. So you cannot come in the line in the way of the nature. Again guys, one more last story and then I will stick and I will wrap up the video. So there is a web series which came, it was Asur. In short, the antagonist character, the villain of that whole series, used to see him as a Satan, as a Lucifer, as a villain and all. And his story of his birth was also very surprising. His father was a very profound astrologer, and he did the whole calculation that only if my wife is going to deliver the baby at this hour on this day, a very saintly kind of, very accomplished kind of soul is going to be born. But something goes wrong and his wife got into labor a day before and a demon was born. When he did the whole calculation, he got to know that, okay, what has taken birth in his house. So that's what I'm trying to say, guys. In this kind of discussion, dasha becomes very important. A lot many times we are not even mature enough. We are not even mature enough that what we are praying for, what is going to be the outcome if that wish is going to get fulfilled. But dasha always maintain that a right thought, right level of maturity comes to you when you are of this age. And along with that, guys, I still remember, like in one of the book of the, and one of the lecture of the K.N. Rao sir, he also mentioned this thing, that it is always good that in your lifetime, if you will get the hard dasha, difficult dasha in the first half of your life. Because generally what happens is that when we are kid, in the early age and all, we are the responsibility of our parents. But once we are in the old age, then we are left on our own. Like, let's take up the case that if you, obviously, even if you have children, they have their own lives, they have their own things to accomplish and fulfill. But the gist was that it is much better if the difficult dasha, problem causing, affliction causing dasha comes in the early half, so that in your old age, you do not have to worry about, you do not have to be persistently in trouble. That's what I was trying to say. So yes, guys, I am a strong advocate of the law of attraction. All what I can say, and the summary of this video is that whatever has been given to you as a part of your fixed destiny, like, because a lot many times I have seen that as a pattern, like people who have Ketu in whichever house, people are dissatisfied. People who are like going through the dasha of 8th lord, planet placed in the 8th house, depression, anxiety, dissatisfaction tend to remain a theme. And when you actually, you know, like a therapist, like a counselor, when you talk to them, you get to know that the problem is not in their life. The problem is in the mind, and the right therapy, right counseling, right sense of motivation can actually put you in the right path. So yes, guys, this is something which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs. For further more updates and notification on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Instagram account. Dhanyavad.